I would want you to know the power standards that are out there. And there's been a lot of rockiness in the power standards because Cisco was, I think, first to market with power over Ethernet. They were certainly early to market, but it was a proprietary standard, and thank goodness they needed to do this because this is about the same time they were rolling out their IP phones. And I can remember that. Oh, Cisco's doing IP phones, really? Then we're like, yeah, we're going to power them over Ethernet. Fantastic. That sounds great. And then the industry figured it out. They got it all hammered out. You see the 802.3 AF standard, 15 watts per port. 15 watts is not a ton, right? Think about a light bulb. A lot of light bulbs, if they're incandescent, are like 45 watts. Think about your laptop. Your laptop probably takes at least 40 watts, maybe 80. If it's a gaming laptop, it takes probably more than that. So this is not a ton, right? It's not a ton. And an IP phone is essentially a whole computer with an embedded switch. Then we start to look at the AT standard. So it's AF, then AT. Know these standards. You can assume if it's AT, you got 25.5 watts per port, but if you're using all four pairs, now unshielded twisted pair cabling has how many wires? It's got how many wires? It's got 8 wires that are paired up. So 4 pairs. So we're using all of the wires. 50 watts is staggering. They're really pushing the envelope. I don't expect them to go much beyond this. You know, I'm sure that engineers will figure out a way, but that's a lot of wattage. And I'm going to be pretty content with that. Because, hey, I could even power, I could power tablet computers off of that. Not that I would want my switches supplying that power. And this is backwards compatible. Hallelujah for that. Backwards compatible between the AT and AF standards. If we're a power over Ethernet sourcing device, if we're PSE, does that mean we're just shoveling out juice and hoping that someone's going to use it or being promiscuous with our power? The answer is no. We're going to test. We are going to test and do a handshake and a negotiation. The first thing that takes place is something that would be akin to a resistance meter. And what's going to happen is the switch is going to detect if the other side wants power. And it can do that by checking the resistance. And if it sees 25 kiloohms, it will say, that device wants some power. And then a negotiation takes place to figure out what class of power we are talking about. So class 0. And this is the AF standard we're talking about. 0. But then if we go to 4, this is the AT standard. 51 watts. Holy smokes, that's a lot of power coming over that UTP cabling. But that's the sort of thing that we might need if we've got some heavy-duty equipment that we want to run. The flexibility is certainly nice. But I would want you to understand that, yeah, we're not just sending power out there into the ether, pun intended. We are only going to do that when asked or when we detect it.